Hello and welcome to the first lesson of Human Anatomy and Physiology. So, the very first chapter is devoted to a general overview of the body and also of some directional anatomy. So, what is anatomy and physiology? Well, anatomy is the study of the structure and shape of the body and its parts. This includes everything from your eyeballs to your bones to your pancreas to your blood vessels. Now, physiology is the study of how the body and its parts work or function. Now, these two are very closely related. So, with the physiology, it's going to study how your heart works, how your eyeballs work, how your blood vessels work, how your bones grow and repair themselves. Now, we have several levels of study for anatomy. We have gross anatomy. These are going to be our large structures that are easily observable. Now, you think of a human femur. Okay, if you were to see a human femur, it's the largest bone in the body. It's very easy to observe it. Okay, we see in our diagram right here, this is the digestive system. So we have the mouth. Right here, we have the esophagus, the liver, gallbladder, stomach, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, all that. We can physically examine those with our eyes. However, we also have microscopic anatomy. So these are very small structures. They can only be viewed with a microscope. And this right here is going to be the base of the stomach. Okay, and we see right here, these are gastric pits. This is where the stomach acid, that we generally call it, is produced and then sent into the stomach to help break our food down. So our levels of organization. Now, we have 6 levels of organization. Okay, we have our chemical level. This is where atoms combine to form molecules. Those molecules then go on to form cells. Okay, and when we have several similar cells together that are performing the same function, they form a tissue. When we take several tissues and put them together and they all perform the same function, we get to the organ level. When we take several organs and put them all together, we form an organ system. And then when we take several organ systems and put them together, we have the organismal level. So we go from the atomic or the chemical level into the cellular, tissue, organ system, organism. So we're going to go through a brief overview of the organ systems of the body. So the integumentary, also known as the skin. Now, the integumentary system is the largest organ system in the body. It forms the external covering of the body. It includes your appendages as well, your hairs, sweat glands, oil glands, and nails. Protects deeper tissue from injury, helps regulate body temperature, and also allows us to sense the environment. So it helps us to determine whether it's hot or cold in our surrounding. Now, the skeletal system, it protects and supports our body organs. It allows a place for muscle attachment we see the word movement right here. It's actually locomotion. We'll talk about that later in this course. It's also the site of blood cell formation. So the long parts of the bone and the ends of the bone, we actually find our red and white blood cells being produced there. And it's also a storage site for minerals that are required for bone density and also for other physiological processes within the body. Now, the muscular system, produces locomotion again. It helps us maintain posture, and it also produces heat. I'm sure you have all seen that when you exercise or you work out, the heat that is produced is from your muscles. Now, the nervous system, it is generally referred to as a control system within the body. It responds to internal and external change. Okay, so an example of the internal change is when you get hungry and you decide that you want some food. That is an internal stimulus. It sends a message to your brain to go find food, and then you go to Pizza Hut and get a pizza. External changes, if it is hot or cold outside, let's say that we have one of those nasty cold fronts come through like we do in October, and we will go from being 75 degrees to 30 degrees in the span of 12 hours. So you'll sense that cold and you'll go inside and put a jacket on before you go back outside. So it also activates muscles and glands. Most of these glands are going to release substances into the body, with the exception to the sweat glands and some of our what are called sudoriferous or glands that release smell outside of the body. And again, our muscles for locomotion and also for propelling food, throughout the digestive system and helping with regulating blood pressure. Now, the endocrine system. So this secretes regulatory hormones. So for the time being, we're just going to leave it at growth. It regulates growth, reproduction, and metabolism. Now, metabolism refers to the sum of all physiological processes within the body. So if you say you have a high metabolism, what that actually means is that your body can more readily break food sources that are brought into the body down, and that's kind of a misconception that we'll talk about in the digestive system. Now, the cardiovascular, this is going to be also known as the circulatory system. It's going to transport materials in the body via the blood pumped by the heart. So things like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients, and waste. You'll typically see this red and blue diagram, with red representing the oxygenated blood and blue representing the deoxygenated blood. Now, working closely with this is going to be the lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system will return fluids to blood vessels, helps clean the blood, and is commonly referred to as your immune system. So this is incredibly important right now with everything going on with the global pandemic. So a healthy immune system essentially will help keep you well. When we cover this system, we'll talk about vaccines and how they work, and why it is important to help maintain your immune system with the healthy diet, exercise, all of that. Your respiratory system, it's going to keep blood supply with oxygen and also removes carbon dioxide. It is both the nasal cavity and the oral cavity, your mouth right here. I'm sure you all know you can breathe through your mouth, followed by the pharynx, larynx, trachea, and then splits into the bronchi and goes to each of the lungs. Now, your digestive system helps to break down food, allows for nutrient absorption into the blood from that food that's being broken down, and is going to eliminate indigestible waste, either as solid or liquid waste. Now, working closely with it is going to be the urinary system. This is going to help eliminate our liquid waste. It is going to also eliminate nitrogenous, or any waste that has nitrogen in it. Okay, it also helps maintain our acid-base balance. So when you get dehydrated, what's happened is you haven't kept enough water and electrolytes in your system, and this is out of balance. And we need to do everything that we can to help regulate it. Okay, finally, we have the reproductive. Obviously, this produces offspring. It also is a component of the endocrine system as well, in terms of hormone production. The primary hormone being produced in males being testosterone, and the primary hormone being produced in females being estrogen. So if you have any questions from the lesson, put it in the comments below, or you can email me at mr.tucker.schs@gmail.com.